and welcome to Manchester. We have been away for 2 weeks, but we are back with a bang as two of the top four go head-to-head. Chelsea are on the hunt for their fourth consecutive WSL title, whilst Manchester City are hoping to get their hands on that trophy since the first time since 2016. Both teams have not lost in the WSL since September, and actually, in fact, Manchester City last lost to their guests today.
So the champions looking to get normal service resumed. Fleming. And across here, surely! Oh, chance! Somehow saved by Berger. Ingles hit. Well, actually awarded a penalty here. Aaron Mjelde, brilliant penalty. Chelsea 2, Manchester City 0.
Fresh off the back of an FA Cup defeat to Villa, Manchester City are looking to get back to winning ways today. Two changes to the side that lost at the Bescott Stadium. Steph Horton and Laura Coombs coming back into the team. While Chelsea are riding high after a midweek Champions League victory in Lyon. A win for Emma Hayes' side would see them go back to the top of the WSL table with a game in hand. With only 3 points currently separating the top four, it's all to play for here today at the Academy Stadium. It's Manchester City v Chelsea, and kickoff is just over 10 minutes away. Well, I'm delighted to be joined today by Anita Asante and Farah Williams for what promises to be a great game. When we're thinking about this game, Anita, Manchester City actually haven't beaten Chelsea in their last 11 WSL fixtures. What do they need to do different today?
Yeah, and it's a must-win game. So today it's really important that they manage the space and behind the defensive line and Sam Kerr's movement, that they're effective in those wide areas and they commit players 1v1, but especially that, you know, they stick together and they're compact and they don't allow spaces and gaps to open up.
Yeah, well, Farah, Chelsea come into this one full of confidence, especially after midweek and that huge win against Lyon.
Yeah, really big win for them midweek. Away in Lyon, they bring, you know, a goal back to their home ground, Kings Meadow, on Thursday for their home fixture. So I think they come into this game with momentum. They like fixtures. Chelsea, you'll hear Emma Hayes, she tells you all the time, her players love to play fixtures. Players, we all know ourselves.
I was going to say, did you like to?
We'd rather play games than that long training between games. So they will prefer this period of time for them with lots of fixtures, for sure.
OK, well, the fans are making their way into the Academy Stadium. A big 3 points up for grabs today. Let's get down to Joe Curry and hear what the managers have to say ahead of the one today.
Gareth, you've called this a must-win game, but also said you want to see fire from the players today. What does that equate to in terms of the performance that you want to see out on the pitch?
Well, our performance is going to do enough for us to win the game. It's as simple as that. I think it's. I think when you look at the game in isolation, there's obviously a lot going on at the top of the league. But I think for us, I think if we weren't successful in winning today, I think that would be really difficult then. And I think Chelsea are favourites in that respect because they've got that game in hand, and I think the golf will probably be a bit too far at that point. You can never say never because the game changes a lot, but yeah, I think it's must win for us, and I think the players are really comfortable with that.
Well, Emma, the games are coming thick and fast for you at the moment, but I got the impression listening to you midweek that you rather relish this period.
Yeah, I do. I think the players do too. We like the game's accumulation and being in a flow, and I think you can see it's a team that's performing well. At least on the defensive front, we're being tougher to beat, which is something I appreciate.
On the defence, we saw Millie Bright hobble off in the Champions League. She doesn't start today. How concerning is that injury?
No, she'll be all right. Today she just misses out today, but she'll be back next week.
Yeah, it's good to hear that Millie Bright will be back, but let's turn our attention right now to Manchester City. They're third in the WSL, actually 9 points better off at this stage than last season. And one player that is standing out, Anita, you will know firsthand, sorry to remind you, you can tell us a bit more about that game against Bristol City. Bunny Shaw.
Thanks a lot, Al.
Sorry.
Yeah, you know, obviously we met her in the FA Cup in the 5th round, and she's just a phenomenal talent. You know, her link-up play, she brings other players into the game in the midfield, brings Hemp and Chloe Kelly alive as well, but they all have this great understanding of finding her in the box, and in the box, it's her double movement. It's so hard to stop when she's on fire.
Well, she is currently top scorer in the WSL, Farah, 15 goals, and she's been working with Sean Gota.
And I think that's evident in her play this year. I think the fact that Ellen White retired and she now is their #1 striker, she's really flourished in that position and that role. And I think you'll see here, this is a new movement, just this small movement here towards the ball, her awareness to then go beyond the defender. Fantastic small movement, but that nobody sees. And then the composure just to take it around the keeper. Again, her link-up play, I think that's something that's really improved. I think the tidiness of it, and then she finds herself in the box, always between centre-half, and really difficult to pick up. You'll see again here, this is the link-up play. Much more tidy with it. Finds her teammate, but then she stays alive in the box. So this is a scuff shot from her teammate. She stays alive inside that box and is able to score. And these are the small improvements. Somebody like Sean Gota, the type of striker he was, would have definitely helped her with this season.
Anita, just a quick one from a defensive point of view. Is it about the communication between the two centre-halves then?
Absolutely, and knowing where she is at all times, even when you're in possession. Got to have contact on her, especially in those box situations.
Okay, well, as the sprinklers come our way right now, you must be laughing at home. We're laughing right here. Another key figure in the Manchester City squad is Alex Greenwood at the heart of the defence. She's been speaking to Betty Glover.
Alex, talking about you on a personal level, it's been quite a good few months, hasn't it? You've signed your new contract, captaining the Lionesses. How has it been for you?
Obviously signing my new contract feels like such a long time ago now, but it was a really important thing for me and something I wanted to do. I love it here, I love this football club. And then obviously captaining England was an honour for me. It's something that you dream of when you grow up, and when you're running around as a little kid, you know, to say you want to captain your country is something I used to always say, and to have my family there on that occasion was you know, a day I probably won't ever forget, to be honest.
Here's Greenwood. And it's the opening goal. It's Bunny Shaw with it, and Manchester City are motoring.
One player that is doing really well is, of course, Bunny Shaw. How integral has she been in the team so far this season?
Oh yeah, massive. I think a goal record speaks for itself, but Bunny's so much more than goals. I think what she brings to the team in terms of link-up play, the way she holds the ball up for us, her work off the ball, and honestly, the way she is as a character off the pitch is that she's just a top person. I'm not really surprised that Bunny's doing what she's doing. I've seen it. I've seen bits of it last year and glimpses of how good she can be and how good she's got to be, because she's still got so many levels to go to, which is quite frightening, to be honest. But no, she's having a great season, and that's credit to herself and how hard she's worked.
Sunday's match, it's a big one, isn't it?
It is a big one, yeah. I think it's a welcoming pressure. I think we've gone about our business quietly and maybe gone under the radar a little bit. Something we're really comfortable and content with. We focus on ourselves.
Let's be honest, the start of the season, I think Manchester City fans probably would have been a little bit worried. Did you ever think that you'd, in March, be able to get to the top of the table?
You don't want to start the season with 2 defeats. It's not how we planned to set out the season, but that's football and it's how you react to it. And I think within the dressing room, the reaction was brilliant. We know internally how we operate and what we expect from each other, and I think now we're seeing the best of ourselves. I think confidence is massive in the team. We're a really, really good group of people. We've got a really close-knit team, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons why we're being successful right now. We've got ourselves into a really positive position, and we'll treat Sunday like we treat every other game, and that's to go out and win.
Well, Alex Greenwood definitely has a game today, especially up against the Chelsea forward Sam Kerr, because she is in great form in what is an important year for her, Farah.
Yeah, really big year for her, and somebody that has been a real standout player for this Chelsea team in big moments when they need somebody to come up with a bit of magic. It's Sam Kerr that does that, and what I like so much about her, she knows her strengths and she knows her awareness of her team. This movement here where she just takes the defender to the near post and allows her teammate just to get the free shot or goal, it's a movement that nobody recognises. This is just exquisite. I mean, the touch here that she takes off her chest and just softens it to just dink it over Mary Earps, it's a phenomenal goal. And this is this is what she's at her best, when she gets between centre halves and uses her head. Probably the best between her and Bunny Shaw. That's what I'm excited about today, in the air with their heads. Both strikers, it's going to be really exciting for the neutral today to watch both strikers in that box and their movement, because equally they're as good as each other.
Anita, she's on 49 goals, only one more now to join that club of 50 WSL top scorers.
Yeah, and she'll be second behind Fran Kirby for Chelsea. But, you know, I think the good thing about Sam Kerr is she'll do that movement tirelessly, time and time again, and stretch defences, and that's what makes her such a threat.
So what's the key battles today?
I think it's the strikers. I think the defenders today have to be switched on. I think it will be either Bunny Shaw or Sam Kerr that will win this game for their team today, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. Do you like that?
Farah, we're warming up here. Look, and they're certainly excited to what game they have on their hands today, what they're about to witness. We've got a great commentary team for you today. Let's hand you straight over to them. It's Rachel Brown-Finnis alongside Robin Cowan.
Thank you very much, Alex. Good afternoon, everyone. Another weekend and another crucial game in the race for the Women's Super League title. Manchester City, the home side today, precariously placed. They could achieve the title, a Champions League spot, or neither. Today's matchup with Chelsea pivotal to where their season goes. As for Chelsea, they're in between season-defining fixtures in the Champions League. And they have their sights set on a 4th straight WSL title, but they are being made to work for it. Wins for Manchester United and Arsenal yesterday, big ones at that, just reinforced the message. There is no room for error. Let's get your teams then. For City, the WSL is now their sole focus after they were knocked out of the FA Cup last weekend by Aston Villa. 2 changes from that defeat. Captain Steph Horton replaces Kirsten Kasparai, who drops to the bench. Former Chelsea midfielder Laura Coombs replaces Dana Castellanos. Khadija Bunny Shaw leads the race for the WSL Golden Boot with 15 goals in 15 league appearances. Chelsea recorded an impressive win at Champions League holders Lyon in the first leg of their quarter-final. Millie Bright narrowly misses out on selection after she was forced off on Wednesday night. Magdalena Eriksson comes in her place, and Mara Mielda replaces Ev Perisset. Sam Kerr is 1 goal away from 50 WSL goals. She'll become the 9th player in the competition to reach that milestone. And players to watch, Rachel Brown-Finnis, you're focusing on the wide forwards today.
Yes, indeed. Lauren Hebb for Manchester City, and of course England, still only 22, we have to remind ourselves. She was prolific last season, her best ever WSL season in regards to goals, and she'll be key in supplying Bunny Shaw for Manchester City. And on her respective, on the respective wing, on the opposition, Gura Wrighton midweek Wednesday got that sole goal for for Chelsea against Lyon in the Champions League, again tasked with serving. Sam Kerr in that lone 9 position for her team. Both players signed 5-6 years ago for their clubs and are absolutely key in spearheading their success.
Emma Hayes says they like it busy. Good thing, because they are extremely busy. Chelsea still in the Champions League, still in the FA Cup, and still fighting for the title. For Manchester City, that is the only thing that they can achieve this season, and they're still very much in with a shout, despite starting the day today in 4th place. It is hotting up as we enter spring. Paul Howard, the referee today for the Sky Blues against the Dark Blues of Chelsea. And whenever these two meet in Manchester, it's usually a thriller, a high-scoring one at that. 4 of the last 5 WSL meetings have ended in a draw, 18 goals scored. Memorable 3-3 draw just before the pandemic hit. And the equaliser for Chelsea meant they won the league on points per game. Always an entertaining fixture. Both sets of players take the knee, as they do ahead of every WSL fixture this season. And this women's football weekend has provided some fantastic fixtures already. This one, though, perhaps the most anticipated. Huge consequences, a lot at stake, everything on the line in terms of the WSL title race and the race for Champions League spots. 4 teams do not go into 3. Any slip-up will be punished. Cuthbert into Sam Kerr, surrounded by sky blue shirts. Plays in Wrighton. Gets the cross in, and it's landed on the top of the net. Slightly blowy here at the Academy Stadium.
Indeed, the league is hotting up, but certainly not in our commentary position today. I think the ball played, Sam Kerr typically gets between the 2 centre-halves. Great touch out of her feet, Guru Wrighton, maybe a bit wind-assisted. But as much as we've teed up the centre-forwards today, the goalkeepers, I am sure, will play a pivotal role in trying to stop the 2 centre-forwards.
Alexandri. Really lovely link-up play. There goes Lauren Hem. Chloe Kelly, that's a good first touch, and Jess Carter with a crucial intervention there.
And it was a brilliant run from Chloe Kelly. It's what you want your wide player on the other side, is to come central, get in the mix to try and get on the ball, and she gets across Jess Carter. Jess Carter does brilliantly to get touch tight, doesn't let Chloe Kelly turn, and makes that crucial interception. Excellent textbook defending from Jess Carter.
Well, since that Continental Cup final defeat, Jess Carter has started every single game. Corner towards the near post, it's a bit messy. Chelsea managed to work it away, although that's given back to Lauren Hemp. Blocked by Mielder. A good start for City, although Leah Alexandri's attempt at a clearance closed down by Lauren James. A little bit isolated, but she won't mind that. James still has it. Here's Wrighton. Ingle trying to play in Erin Cuthbert.
Lauren James did really well, didn't she, to maintain possession. Just come off the counter, so Sam Kerr was back defending from the corner. These tee-ups, head-to-head battles, teams who are pedigree and quality, won championships, they're so enticing, so thrilling. And this is a Manchester City team unbeaten, won their last 13 games. They're in great form. They'll truly believe they can come and beat this Chelsea team. Chelsea have found it hard in WSL history to come here and win. Great test.
It's the only away win at the Academy Stadium. Was the last one, 4-0 win. And City were in a bad shape at the beginning of last season. Here's Chloe Kelly. Oh, and now Eriksson misjudged that.
Eriksson in for Millie Bright, who limped off in the Lyon game just before half-time. But pretty decent, solid replacement to have.
Katrin Berger. The risk-taking ball. The confident one.
Just checking, looking pretty much online there. Chloe Kelly. Just a mistimed attempt at clearing the ball, which worked out beautifully.
Erin Cuthbert fires it forward, and Sam Kerr is going to get there first. Alex Greenwood in pursuit. Kerr is away, pokes it towards goal, straight at Roebuck. Greenwood did just enough to narrow the angle.
Yeah, she helped out a centre-half pair in Steph Horton there. One press, one cover, and that's exactly what Alex Greenwood did. Gets back, forces Sam Kerr to go wide. She gets the shot off Sam Kerr, little right foot toe poke. does exceptionally well to do so. Alex Greenwood, good marshalling, great position from Ellie Roebuck.
Shaw, away from Buchanan. Flag has stayed down, a few appeals for offside against Bunny Shaw. Hemp, drop of the shoulder, whips in the ball, but out of play.
These high-paced, high-energy, high-stakes games, because Gareth Taylor talked about it being a must-win game for Manchester City ahead of this game. You go in and you've got to settle those nerves as a player. Certainly as a goalkeeper, you can pass on information to help with that. And Katrin Berger is certainly one of the world's best.
It was the win here in mid-February against Arsenal that really made Manchester City believe that they can enter the title race properly.
I think it made onlookers believe as well, because the start they had was terrible. Alex Greenwood mentioned in a pre-match interview that they haven't stopped believing that they can go on, and they've gone under the radar, and I absolutely agree with all of that. But as a player, that feeling of momentum, feeling of invincibility, whew, that's powerful.
Bit of a cheap concession of the corner from Chelsea. Again towards the near post, well defended in the first instance. Here's Esme Morgan. Horton delivers low. It's another awkward one dealt with by Carter this time. Here's Angledahl. Ingle blocks the path for a shot. Horton again delivers low. Shaw collects. Can't quite work the opening there. Good signs though for City.
Yeah, excellent. I love the fact that they really pressing Chelsea. They can sniff that they are on the back foot. But Manchester City flooding numbers forward at set pieces. Good build-up play between Steph Horton and Chloe Kelly. Great ball in from the corner. They do look susceptible, Chelsea.
Miolda down the line for James. Very much a contrast between these two. Chelsea extremely busy in all cup competitions. Made it to the final of the League Cup. Lyon in the return leg on Thursday. City knocked out the Champions League early on the season, the qualifying stages. You could argue have more time in the training ground, more time to recover.
I know what situation I'd rather be in. I'd rather be in a Chelsea shirt and vying for the Champions League and FA Cup and the title here for WSL. But mention Manchester City have this sole purpose now, and they can put everything into it.
Lovely play from Carter. Brighton, Cuthbert in a bit of space. Kerr is just offside. That looks very close. Lovely interplay in the midfield there.
Just about the right call from the assistant. You can see Sam Kerr had a little look, checked, got on the outside shoulder of Steph Horton. Really clever play, just mistimed it.
Here is Greenwood. Lauren Hemp. Starting position seems quite deep today. Dispossessed well. And Sam Kerr, the target. It looked like it crept out of play.
Sam Kerr looks so sharp. And with that World Cup just imminent, only a couple of months away now, leading her team out on home soil. This is really the culmination of what is a wonderful career so far, so much more. A special moment that will be for her.
Here's Hasegawa, closed down by Cuthbert. Here's Kerr, Takes aim, didn't quite get hold of it, but just an illustration there of what Erin Cuthbert brings, as she did against Lyon in midweek.
Yeah, and it's great at playing in that higher role, in that sort of 10 position just behind Sam Kerr. Previously she's been used more as a holding midfielder alongside Ingle. But she's busy in there, she can rat around, she is ruthless in a tackle in a good way. You know, she'll take a moment, she'll ensure that it's a fair challenge, but she has got so much energy and quality. Some of the goals that Erin Cuthbert scored.
It's interesting there, Alex Greenwood taking a goal kick in a traditional sense. The balls come straight back at City with Lauren James. Really good challenge from Alexandri. Hasegawa yet to lose a WSL game for City in which she's featured. She didn't start either of the opening 2 games, both City defeats to Aston Villa and Chelsea. Those were the last losses they suffered in the league, at least.
Well, that holding midfield position has been so key to how Manchester City have played. Kieran Walsh for so many years played that. I think take that out, in some respects, it takes out the real kind of heart of what has been a really successful system. So to have a player go back in, Hasegawa.
Cuthbert goes early again to Kerr.
Yeah, it's a perfect fit. Hasegawa, excellent ball player, really tidy player.
Kelly into Angledal, pursued by Ingle to Esme Morgan.
Steph Horton's had to wait a time, hasn't she, to get back in. Good performance so far alongside Alex Greenwood.
Started the game against Arsenal, she was excellent in that game as well. Esme Morgan has a lot of time here, no one's closing her down in a hurry. Angledal, lovely ball, Kelly pulls it back, corner kick.
Laura Coombs was just on a penalty spot, took a great position up, Laura Coombs. If that had just been a little bit more angle from Chloe Kelly. You see a great break from Esme Morgan, she's not quite sure what to do because nobody closes her down. Lovely little ball slips in from Angledal, and Chloe Kelly just can't get the angle to cut it back. And that would have been a certain goal for Manchester City. We've seen Serena Wiegman here, looking at Laura Coombs, looking at Chloe Kelly. Just 2 of many names in the next England squad.
Whipped corner in. Lauren Hemp closest to it for City. Oh, Esme Morgan didn't win that. Of course, Cuthbert did. Tries to pick out James. Hasegawa scuttling to try and slow her down. She's done a good job there. James forced to check back. Leupolz. Now Cuthbert. Leupolz to Sophie Ingle, and now Kerr. Ingle urged to shoot, there's a flexion, it's a really good save from Roebuck.
Just opened up for Sophie Ingle, didn't it? First real tester for Roebuck. Again, great little movement. Drop of the shoulder from Lauren James, and there's the space. Pulls the trigger, little deflection off Steph Horton. See a decent strike. Steph Horton, but Ellie Roebuck watches it all the way. She'll be looking to impress in front of Serena Wiegman.
That was a mistimed challenge from Greenwood. A free kick in a good area for Chelsea.
Roebuck was England's #1 for such a long period, and then out with an ankle injury for a significant amount of time, and that's the life of a goalkeeper, international and domestic. Certainly international, you're either in or you're out, and you'll have your stint in. Mary Earps has taken that opportunity.
Mielda delivers straight at Roebuck.
Good solid handling there from Ellie Roebuck.
To Hemp, pushes it back to Alexandri. It would have been a huge disappointment last weekend to knocked out of the FA Cup by Aston Villa. Went to extra time. Kelly, now Angledahl. Alexandri. Coombs over to Lauren Hemp. Again, Erin Cuthbert is there, already racking up the interceptions. City have it back though, Angledahl. Last home defeat in the WSL was to Chelsea. November 2021, that 4-0. They still managed to recover and get that final Champions League spot last season.
And the other half of Manchester will be hoping that that'll be theirs.
Shaw, closed down by Eriksson, another corner for City.
Chelsea have done relatively well so far in the opening stage to keep Bunny Shaw relatively quiet. Just see, she, as Farah and Anita highlighted before the game, she has improved immensely since she's come to the Women's Super League. Came in with real high hopes of her taking over from Ellen White, or certainly competition for Ellen White. She has polished a game this season.
Greenwood sends it in, it's a dangerous one. Well defended by Leupolz. Back in by Morgan, who was caught after she'd put the ball into the area. So a free kick for City.
Looks like Steph Horton might fancy this one, stood over it. Yeah, little... Just turns her head away, doesn't she, Lauren James, not in control of her tackle, and catches the City player.
Pretty far out, you'd expect.
Plenty of space to go up and down though, that's what you get from this distance out. And you can see that as a player, shielding the line of and catching Berger.
This is interesting. Set up.
So obviously have to see that, yeah.
Horton hits the wall. Here's Greenwood. Did take a little deflection, corner kick.
Liked how Alex Greenwood dropped to the outside, the right side of the wall, because then if the ball did, which it did come back to her, she's got a little touch, and it's a left footer, favours a left footer from that angle. It's Wrighton who got out quickly, and they've looked dangerous from corners, Manchester City, so far.
Taken short. Coombs back to Kelly. Delivers. Punched by Berger. Greenwood. Another corner kick. City turning up the pressure.
Got a great target there of Bunny Shaw. Steph Horton, Alex Greenwood are excellent in the air as well. And some last-ditch defending from Chelsea. Uncomfortable for Emma Hayes and her team at the moment.
She did mention, though, pre-match Emma Hayes has been pleased with the defensive resilience, which hasn't always been there this season. Clean sheets, particularly in the WSL, have been few and far between. Managed to keep Manchester United out in their last league fixture. It's a deep cross and gathered by Berger.
Well watched by Ann-Katrin Berger. In the last cross, she came and commanded and punched it really, really well. This one, watched it. The wind is really tricky for goalkeeper. I'd take rain over wind any day of the week. Wind has dropped a little bit, but still tricky conditions for the goalkeeper.
Angeldal stuck out a leg and cut that out. Hemp, Angeldal, bit of time here. Oh, what a strike! A rocket from Philippa Angeldal! It's her first ever WSL goal! And that was worth the wait.
It was indeed. What a strike from her. But as a goalkeeper, your team's been under pressure. You want to play out the back. I'm not happy with Ann-Katrin Berger putting the ball at risk. The way that it was overturned here looks a little bit slow. You're not seeing, there's no tempo, there's no movement off the ball. Could you have played it short? Dispossessed. Lauren Hemp gets hold of the ball, sees an open player, Angeldal on the angle, and there you go. Simple as anything, no pressure on the ball at all from Jess Carter. And it's the most simple and direct and straightforward of finishes for Angeldal. Just absolutely pings it, top, bins, side netting, and it's everything that Manchester City and Chelsea deserved. What a pure strike. She sees that window, doesn't she, between Sophie Ingle. No pressure on the ball from Jess Carter. The position of Ann-Katrin Berger, the distance out that she was, and executed it beautifully.
An absolute peach of a goal from Angeldal. And this has really shaken things up.
It's not come out of the blue, though. Manchester City are the ones who've looked likely. Chelsea have looked a little bit sloppy in their defensive duties, both in and out possession defensively.
Hemp. Support over on the far side with Alexandri. Hemp in the overlap. Give and go. Hemp is obstructed. Well, she thought she was. Play on, says Paul Howard.
And the home fans don't like that. Good tracking back from Bunny Shaw. Little pressure on Khadija Buchanan, but just leaning on her back. But helps her teammate out. Lauren Hemp was still laying prone on the floor.
Brighton. Kerr chases and collects and is asking for options. Cuthbert provides support. Brighton digs out the cross. Cushioned down by Leupolz. Bit of a scramble. Chelsea will try and mount another attack here. Ingle. Cuthbert. Showing all her strength there. Shaw collects and asks for the decision. Didn't get it.
Chelsea got to have more tempo. The movement when they're in possession of it in the back, in the defensive third, movement to get in an angle of support, it's a bit too slow for my liking. Manchester City are backing off and making them make those decisions.
It's a bit careless from Buchanan. Hemp. Too much on that for Khadija Shaw. Should have been a better ball.
Yeah, decent run from Khadija Shaw. But City getting numbers forwards, and that's seems a difference on occasion. Lauren James has been on her own when she's got into the final third. Sam Kerr has been on her own when they got into the final third. I know they play different styles. Just doesn't seem to quite be at full tilt, Chelsea.
Usain Bolt here to support his fellow Jamaican, Khadija Bunny Shaw. I think he's usually a red, actually. When in Manchester.
It's brilliant, isn't it, that the Women's Super League attracting the best players from across the world. Some of those iconic names coming to watch will only help that.
Particularly convincing performance so far from Chelsea, but could never count them out.
Absolutely not. Look at every single player on this pitch is an international player for Chelsea. He's either captain of their team or a key player in their team. Quality everywhere and on the bench. City's game plan so far has worked excellently. They're letting Chelsea have possession of the ball in the centre halves with Eriksson and Buchanan, and just sitting off, letting them make decisions. And when the ball goes wider, they're snapping at them.
The only win Gareth Taylor has managed against Chelsea was last season's Continental Cup final. So this would be quite something if he can manage to do it in the league. Win this in the last 11 in the WSL against Chelsea. So the last win was a 1-0 here in the 2017 Spring Series, the Tony Duggan strike.
Remember it well. But, you know, coming into a game, it won't matter who Gareth Taylor's team are playing today, they'll have a huge amount of belief with the form that they're in.
Eriksson goes direct. Sam Kerr didn't quite time her run correctly, according to the assistant on the far side, Abby Dearden.
Yeah, agree. Alex Greenwood and Steph Houghton been excellent, but you actually look at that and whether the lines would have been drawn on, she might have been onside.
A couple of very close calls there. Just a little warning for City. High line could be exploited. One of those might be given sooner or later. And Chelsea can really mix it up. They were very direct against Manchester United. Scored an absolutely brilliant goal, James to Kerr.
And they were indeed, and Sam Kerr seems to be a little bit far away from Irene Cuthbert, Guru Wrighton at times when the ball's pumped forward.
Stays like this, Manchester City will go from 4th to 2nd. Chelsea still have that game in hand. But with those big wins for Arsenal and Manchester United yesterday, still all to play for.
It's good to see how Chelsea responded after that League Cup final defeat. To see them beat Lyon 1-0 this week, I mean, that's an eyebrow raiser. Great start to that two-legged affair.
I think that's the point, isn't it? It's two-legged, it's not over yet, but that would have been such a huge weight off to record that result against the Holdings Champions League. Kelly delivers low.
They're the holders, but they're virtually owners, aren't they, of that trophy?
Essentially. Kelly. Oh, it's an awkward one for Buchanan. Coombs won it. It's Hemp! And it's two! City sizzling, Chelsea in trouble.
Well, it's almost come from a symmetrical position to Angledahl's strike on the angle. Lauren Hemp, we said she was going to be influential before this game. Only 3 WSL goals this season so far, but it comes from the wide position. Lovely link up with Angledahl. Cuts it across. Laura Coombs does really well there to get a little touch on it, for it to be able to drop. And again, no pressure on the wide player, on Lauren Hemp this occasion. No attempt to go down the line, not quick enough. Mara Mielda this time not responding quick enough. And it's a sumptuous strike though, isn't it? Lashed across, top of the boot, little bit of left to right on that. And absolutely no chance for Ann-Katrin Berger.
It was Berger who called a little team meeting there. A real task for Chelsea now. And takes it on. Energised by that goal. Alexandri. Emma Hayes will not use this as an excuse, but, you know, a lot of travelling, a lot of games. She said before the game that they like this sort of busy period. They like the rhythm that it can bring. But it can have the opposite effect.
Cool, Steph, that's all right.
So here's what else is coming up for you today on the BBC. The boat races from 3:30 on BBC One. Oxford against Cambridge, the Women's Football Show tonight. Highlights of all the WSL games from Women's Football Weekend. 10 o'clock on the iPlayer, 25 past midnight on BBC One. Live basketball for you. Mavericks against the 76ers. Wednesday, 12:25 AM. And all episodes of Match of the Day Top 10 with Gary Lineker on the BBC iPlayer. Wrighton hooks it forward. Kerr with the flick on. No one there making the run in behind.
It looks like Emma Hayes is making a tactical change or two. Neve Charles is being readied. And another player, just trying to see who that is.
Well, she made a change before half-time, didn't she, against Arsenal in the Continental Cup. That didn't make too much of a difference. 2 goals down, though. Something has got to change. It's short.
Yeah, because Manchester City have earned those 2 goals. It's a tactical mismatch. Gareth Taylor has got his setup right, and his players have employed that setup brilliantly. And they have pinned back Manchester City. Wreaked havoc in the 6-yard box. Emma Hayes is going to waste no time in changing things up.
It's going to be really interesting to see who she takes off. Kelly. There's been no individual poor display. It's sort of been a collective, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's whether she'll go 3 at the back. And push you know, have Guru Wrighton as a wing back and Neve Charles maybe on that other side. We'll wait and see what happens. Need something to keep Chloe Kelly and Lauren Hemp quiet. Lauren Coombs and Philippa Angledahl have been instrumental in both goals. Scored one, set up one.
is it too simplistic to say how much they miss Millie Bright? Her presence, her quality, her physicality. Buchanan sends it forward. James wins the header, helped away by Steph Horton. Hemp, the acceleration, and the drop of the shoulder too much. Double substitution for Chelsea. We've played only 35 minutes of the first half. Sophie Ingle coming off for Niamh Charles. And Johanna Reeting-Cannerid on for Lauren James. Possible change of shape, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, just so Guru Wright can come over to Emma Hayes for some tactical insight as to what that looks like. Changes that is to her positioning. But Lauren James has had a couple of, trademark runs, but has been kept awfully quiet.
Shaw's ball across the penalty area. Quite fine, Chloe Kelly. Asagawa caught. Free kick for City. Might be seen as ruthless by Emma Hayes, these two changes, but can ill afford to wait till half-time. Something needs to change.
Well, as the game's going, you're 2-0 down after half an hour. You used to say it ain't going to be 3-4-0 by, half-time, and absolutely game dead and buried. So, she's bold and experienced and competent. There's none of those things that Emma Hayes is not. And so she knows, she'll see a fix in what she's seen so far.
Keep it in play. Don't overcook it. Keep it in play.
Greenwood delivers. Miolda closed down. To play. As it stands, just look at that. Barely a hair between these. Top four, top three especially.
I couldn't have imagined Arsenal not being in that top three. The scintillating start that they've had.
Whoever misses out on the Champions League next season, it's going to have a huge impact, isn't it?
So they'll start to unpick the season. Chelsea are more than likely to be in it, but you look at that loss at the beginning of the season against Liverpool, and you think, how on earth drop points? And it's been the same for every single team.
Yes, bud. Now FIFA.
For one day only, the Red Half Manchester will be very pleased with this result. Or we should say, not a result yet.
Be interested to see if Gareth Taylor does respond to this change in tactic.
Carter on for Niamh Charles. Gets the cross in. It's Cannerid at the back post.
He's already gone out, yeah. I think the wind just took it out. I think Emma Hayes recognised that Sam Kerr was too isolated up top, and Guru Wrighton's gone higher up, playing in that more 10 role, and Erin Cuthbert dropping to play staggered, but alongside Leupoldts to try and keep Laura Coombs and Philippa Angeldal quiet. We've got Erin Cuthbert and Leupoldts on those two, matching players up.
Lauren, stay there.
And a little bit more support when in possession, Chelsea, to go forward.
Go lower.
We're thinking about this, Brownie. centre-back taking your goal kicks. Isn't that when your time to shine?
Quite short. I mean, the only thing is, if the ball comes back, you can't quite feel the trajectory of the wind, but if the ball comes back, you've got a centre-half ready to be on the front foot and clear it up. It's not that huge gap between the goalkeeper and the back line. Could be some purpose and reason. Alex Greenwood can really pick out a pass as well.
5 minutes until the break. If Chelsea can just get a goal back, a different complexion on things. More claims for City free kick, fall on deaf ears.
I'm sure there'll be a rapturous applause at half-time for this. I love seeing the Academy Stadium, all four sides opened up and pretty much full. Brilliant crowd for this women's football weekend.
Still waiting for spring though, very much. Hat, scarves and gloves weather still. That's an error from Eriksson.
Sloppy, isn't it, from Chelsea? I mean, by Chelsea standards, but by WSL standards, it's sloppy defending. Really, Chelsea won't have recognised themselves at times. And from these situations, from corners, they've knocked on the door. I wouldn't be surprised if City add to their tally.
Coombs again, offering the short option. Kelly delivers towards Horton. And strong from Berger.
Good solid jump from Katrin Berger, knee up, protect herself.
Does well with that. Finds Mielda. Now Niamh Charles. Masagawa brings it away. So confident on the ball. Does well one. Charles. Now Kerr. Greenwood gets a foot in.
Oh, she's hardly touched the ball, has she, in comparison to many WSL games. She's made tireless runs, Sam Kerr. A couple of occasions offside, but Gareth Taylor so far has got this tactical battle spot on. Certainly know the likes of Alex Greenwood will relish the one-to-one battle with Sam Kerr. She's that type of player, Alex Greenwood. Loves a challenge, loves to be able to prove herself.
Makes the clearance and it's seized upon by Khadija Shaw. Support coming. Good strength to hold it up. Hemp into Coombs. Esme Morgan's free at the back post. Hemp. Reverse ball into Shaw. Some of the Manchester City build-up has been immaculate.
It's had tempo to it, it's had a real fizz on the ball, hasn't it? Precision passes, one touch, you know, balls that are played in that you know where it's going to go. You can just angle it with this instep of your foot to the next play. You don't have to take a touch. Excellent.
Cannerid. Not quite the same wavelength as Gura Wrighton. Hadn't made the run that Cannerid was anticipating.
Start to rise now, Lauren. Good, Lauren.
Mjelde.
Good, stop the pass, Lauren. Nothing through. Start to go a little bit deeper.
Eriksson trying to pick out Kurt. One by Greenwood. Alexandri nips in. 1 minute of time added on. Good pressure from Cuthbert. Kerr forced a little wide.
Lauren, what are you doing, Lauren?
Buchanan. See what she's trying to do. It's an intelligent run from Kurt.
Just play it. Good. Got the pass, Lauren. That's it. Drop, Lauren. Drop, Lauren. One of you.
Well, that's a good ball down the flank towards Canneridge. She's going to get there. Well defended. Half time. And a potential shake-up in the race for the WSL title. A first half that has belonged to City. Two sumptuous strikes from Philippa Angeldal and Lauren Hemp has put City in control in the first half. You can never count Chelsea out, but it's going to take something pretty extraordinary for them to get back into this, Rachel.
Yeah, Manchester City have been excellent. We said before the game that they'll be flying high with regards to confidence, but they're overlapping play down the right and the left-hand side, cut back in, and as you mentioned, the two players getting the two strikes on goal have been solid defensively. Ellie Roebuck's had virtually nothing to do. She made 2 saves in the whole game, and Manchester City go in absolutely fully deserving their 2-0 lead.
The champions have it all to do at the break. At half-time at the Academy Stadium, Manchester City 2, Chelsea 0.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Rachel. Anita Asante and Farrah Williams joining me for this one. Gareth Taylor said it was a must-win game. And actually, Farrah, last time Chelsea were 2-0 down at half-time 37 games ago, last season in the opening game against Arsenal. They've got it all to do in the second half.
They do, and I think, as you mentioned there, Gareth, his team talk was to come out and we have to win this game. We cannot lose it. And Manchester City have come out like that. They've pressed really high. They've really, I think shaken this Chelsea back line. And Chelsea have struggled to play out from the back. And I think that's where the chances have come from Manchester City.
Yeah, Man City, they were playing in that high press and Chelsea kept playing into the trap, and I just didn't understand it. Farrah and I was talking and I was like, Chelsea need to play beyond it, play a bit longer, maybe stretch the game, play into Sam Kerr and then allow the team to get up the pitch.
Farrah, is it Manchester City actually playing really well, or actually Chelsea just being sloppy and slow sometimes?
I think a bit of both. I think Manchester City press has been very good, really aggressive and front-footed. I think that's unsettled this Chelsea backline, certainly without Millie Bright in that backline, who is their organiser. But I think Chelsea have been slow with the ball. I think Buchanan in particular, very sloppy in possession, giving the ball away a lot in really bad areas for Chelsea. And Manchester City have dominated.
You've had Emma Hayes as a manager, Anita. What is she going to be saying in there at half-time?
I'm glad I'm out here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm sure she's really going to get into the girls now, try and drive that intensity. She's going to be looking around the room for some leaders actually to step up and start commanding in the game and organising the team, getting them up the pitch. Fullbacks haven't been able to get up the pitch at all and get Guru and LJ into the game.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's actually look at that first goal and where it all came from. Angeldal with her first WSL goal, Farrah.
Yeah, and it was a well-taken goal, but it starts with the keeper, and it's, it is that playing out. It's an unforced error here from Berger, intercepted, and then she gets herself into the box. It's quite slow, passive from Chelsea in terms of their marking, and she has far too much time to pick a striker, go inside the 18-yard box. You can see here, Chelsea really slow to get back. Angeldal, loads of time on the ball, no pressure on the ball, and then just gets a strike. Too easy from my point of view, Anita.
Yeah, from a defensive perspective, this is criminal. You can't allow a player to encroach in the 18-yard box with absolutely no pressure. someone's got to fly out of their position and get down the line of the ball and try and make a block.
And actually, Anita, when we were watching the game, you were actually frustrated. You said no one wants to stop crosses anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got two really talented wide players in Hemp and Chloe Kelly who have been allowed to get up the pitch to the final third and deliver crosses without any kind of pressure. No one really fighting to stop them delivering balls into the box when you know you've got Khadija Shaw, who's dangerous and is an aerial threat.
Farah, stop trying to walk away. If the sprinklers get you, they get you. I know you've got...
I've got my hoodie on and I put it up.
Talk us through the second goal, because it was another great strike, this time from Lauren Hemp.
Yeah, and again, it's come down this right-hand side with Chloe Kelly. I feel she's causing Jess Carter real big problems, but you can see her here, not enough pressure on the ball. Chloe Kelly's able to cut in, do a 1-2, beautiful 1-2, and she just puts it into a danger area. Buchanan challenges, and we can see it's a half cleared. And again, Lauren Hemp, another player for Manchester City, unmarked inside the box, and a free strike at goal. The keeper, Berger, has absolutely nothing she can do here, Anita.
Yeah, Man City have got a lot of joy down the right-hand side, but as you see, second phase, as the ball pops out, again, midfielders in the box just walking and watching the play, not reacting to where the danger and anticipating where the ball might drop.
Well, let's actually look at Chelsea at the back. Is it as simple as to say that they are missing Millie Bright, Farah?
I think so. I think she's that leader there. I think Millie's the type of player, you can see here with Buchanan, I think, just playing into an area where Ingle's going to be pressed. Manchester City really front-footed here, and Chelsea just played themselves under pressure, a little bit casual at the back, and you'll see here they end up getting caught. So a bit slow in trying to play forward, a really good Manchester City press, and causes problems.
And I think Millie Bright is the sort of player that has a great range of passing. She can play beyond this press, diagonal balls into the final line, into Sam Kerr, and allow the team to play her up the pitch.
I think if you look at Millie Bright's strengths, she's somebody that can play short, intricate passes, but also somebody that can really release pressure from this back line with those long diagonal passes or even those long straight passes.
Yeah.
And you've got a willing runner in Sam Kerr. Chelsea aren't using that enough. We've seen the chances Chelsea have created have come through Sam Kerr's run beyond the line, but they haven't come often enough for Chelsea.
We just saw Chelsea in that huddle there after that second goal went in. Emma Hayes already making changes before it even got to half-time, Anita.
Yeah, I think Emma Hayes knew that she needed to bring some energy into the team. So she brought, Ritin Kanarid in and Neve Childs, who are quite dynamic front-footed players. And she needs to find a way, basically, to get Chelsea back into this game. And hopefully they can do that in the second half.
OK, we'll pick up more on the analysis in just a bit. But there's been plenty of WSLs going on across the league this weekend. So let's bring you the best of the action, starting with the North London derby as Tottenham hosted Arsenal.
Williamson here, looking for Palava. Might find Blackstenius. She has Stina Blackstenius! Flying start for Arsenal. 5 minutes in. There's Harrop. This is Caitlin Ford with options. One of them is to drive and shoots. That is brilliant. It's Caitlin Ford against Tottenham again. Jonas Eideval has what he wanted. Nichols throw. By Wubben Moy through Spence. That's a clever ball for England. Williamson with the block. Neville flying in. The Tottenham want a penalty, and they've got one. Must have been with an arm. It was handball. Bethany England in such good form since arriving from Chelsea. Scores again. Her 5th in 6 league matches. And it is game on. Looking for Ford. Nearly got there again. McCabe coming in and going down. It's a penalty. Just inside the box. Kim Little to re-establish the 2-goal Arsenal lead. And she does, emphatically. That's how to take a penalty. Oliver again puts the brakes on. And it's found its way to Ford, who scored again! It's the 3rd time she scored twice against Spurs. Got free of Ash Neville, who missed a header. And it's becoming comfortable. Spence wondered longer than she had, and Williamson has pinched it, and now it's Frida Marnham. With Kim Little to her right, she's gone for goal and she's found it. It's 5. 4 goals up on Spurs again, Arsenal here.
There's Russo, who's been on the ball plenty since half-time, driving into the West Ham area. It's a clumsy challenge by Sissoko, and no hesitation this time by Emily Heslip to point to the spot. Zellem steps up and puts it away. Manchester United into the lead. Manchester United working hard here to try and win the ball back, which Galton does. Elatoun clips it forward perfectly to Lucia Garcia. And Manchester United double their lead. Elatoun, she had the picture in front of her, and she found the pass right into the path of Lucia Garcia. Lucia Garcia. Now on Abaje. She rolls it back to Hayley Ladd, who sets herself up to finish wonderfully past Mackenzie Arnold. And there is no doubt now that Manchester United are heading to the summit of the WSL. Badge, 4 minutes to be added on at the end of this game. Is there time for Manchester United to add a fourth? Pressurising West Ham once more. Soon to Moffat Thomas, who could score against their former club. It breaks to Lucia Garcia, and that wraps it up very nicely for Manchester United. They've blown West Ham away in this second half. That's looking for George. Gabby George. Plenty in there. Oh, she's gone for goal and scored a goal! On her 100th WSL appearance. Was she going for goal here? If she was, she pulled it off perfectly. Missy Vauquerns. It's more up than out. Hines involved. She's had a crack. Stengel's in there. Still Stengel! Superb from Katie Stengel to draw Liverpool level. And you have to say, it's a goal that has been coming. Although was Stengel offside. It's going to count regardless of whether she was or not. Rings corner. Flicked on nicely and in! Leanne Robe is there! And Liverpool have turned it around to lead the derby. But Lauren Impey's going to rule it out. Well, Liverpool asking, what is that decision for? I can only think that she feels that Holland has impeded the keeper. Pump long. Park's interested in this. And Park's got the wrong side here. Park has got for it. Oh! It's not going to count. The referee says there's a handball in there. Park says it's shoulder, but no, it's definitely off the arm.
Okay, confirmation of those results in the Barclays Women's Super League. Liverpool drew at Everton with both teams having late goals disallowed, and Manchester United returned to the top of the table with a very convincing 4-0 win against West Ham, and Arsenal dominated that North London derby with Caitlin Ford scoring 2 against Tottenham for the 3rd time. So let's take a quick look and see how the table currently stands. Manchester City, if it continues like this, leapfrog Chelsea into 2nd place. And as I just mentioned, Manchester United still at the top of the Women's Super League table. We spoke a lot about Chelsea in that analysis. Let's turn our attention to Manchester City because, Anita, they deserve some praise with the way they've come out here and approached that game.
Yeah, City deserve a lot of credit because, you know, they're a possession-based team. They work the ball up through the thirds, and in possession, out of possession, they've shown conviction and intention with everything they've done. And their wide players, as I mentioned prior to kick-off, Chloe Kelly, Hemp, are committing players 1v1 and causing all sorts of problems.
Farah, is it just them continuing to do what they're doing? Because when you look at this Chelsea team, actually, they've not failed to score a goal this season in the WSL.
Yeah, I think so. I think Manchester City, if you heard Alex Greenwood before the game in her interview, she said everybody's wrote them off. Nobody's spoken about them really, you know, trying to contest for this title this season. And losing those 2 opening games, I think it really changed their mindset. They've gone unbeaten since then in the league. So I think it will be difficult to stop Chelsea from scoring. But I think what Manchester City can do now in the second half, continue what they've done in the first half.
Is that keep finding Chloe Kelly?
I think so.
Absolutely.
I think she's caused Jess Carter lots of problems. And those deliveries, with Bonnie Shaw in the box, you're going to create half a chance for sure.
Okay, well, let's look forward to see what else we've got coming up on the BBC. Over on BBC One today, coverage of the boat race begins at 3:30. Then you can catch all of the highlights in this weekend's action in the WSL over on the Women's Football Show. You can catch that one on BBC iPlayer from 12:25 on BBC One. And then we've got live action from the NBA on Wednesday night as the 76ers host the Mavericks, and coverage starts at 12:25. And you can find all episodes of Match of the Day Top 10 now available for you over on BBC iPlayer. Okay, the second half is coming. If you missed it, here's a recap of the first half.
Whenever these two meet in Manchester, it's usually a thriller. Huge consequences, a lot at stake, everything on the line. A rocket from Philippa Agildal! It's her first ever WSL goal! It's head, and it's two! City sizzling, Chelsea in trouble.
What do Chelsea need to do, Anita?
Well, I think they definitely need to start playing beyond Man City's press, higher up the pitch, and get Sam Kerr more involved in the game.
And Agildal walking out there, a great goal from her, Farah.
Yeah, a fantastic finish, but she should be pleased with her first half performance. I think she's actually the player in the midfield that has set this Manchester City press up. She's been phenomenal in this first 45, so more of that in a second, and I think Manchester City could go on to win this game.
Well, Usain Bolt is here watching. He's hoping to see more goals from Manchester City. Let's get you back over to our commentary team. Rachel Brown-Finnis is alongside Robin Cowan.
Yes, thank you, Alex. What response then will we see from Chelsea? No further changes, two made after just 35 minutes. Emma Hayes needing to change things up, but a similar system, different personnel. We'll have to see what difference they can make.
Yeah, I think Erin Cuthbert going a little bit higher up, splitting that, you know, not having two holding midfielders in front of the back four. It'll allow Erin Cuthbert to use some of her, you know, attacking prowess. She's excellent kind of on the ball in high spaces, certainly can whip a ball from distance. Scored many a goal from outside of the box, Erin Cuthbert. And then Ritin Canarid on this right or left-hand side, they'll tend to rotate between her and Charles up top. A similar formation, just a little bit more front foot, a bit more attacking. It'll not only give Chelsea more options when they're in possession in the final third, it'll cause Man City more problems by stopping some of their players.
Well, Gareth Taylor said this was a must-win game, and they are delivering at the moment, but complacency could kill them. Need to keep the hammer down and make sure they complete the win that will open up this title race. As it stands, it's the two Manchester clubs at the top of the table. They will be level on points. Chelsea, though, still have a game in hand. Their busy schedule continues. They're going to have to manage that and manage this second half much better than they did the first. It'll be really interesting to see if they change anything about their style. How can they get at City? Where are those weaknesses that they can exploit?
Yeah, and adding Guru Wrighton playing in that higher role, in that 10 role, more central rather than wider. I'm sure she'll overlap Niamh Charles, and Niamh Charles come inside of her. But a little more support for Sam Kerr, because she was isolated on numerous occasions.
Wrighton with the free kick. Picked up by Mielder. Straight back in by Cuthbert. Good hustling from Canarid. Aside from tactics, just need to match City's energy that they had in the first half. Just a little bit slower to everything. Chelsea, that's a poor touch from Hasegawa. Kerr getting onto this. Poked out of play for a corner by Esme Morgan.
Reminiscent of watching this end of the pitch in the first half, how Manchester City brought the game to Chelsea, and bit of last-ditch defending, a few miscued attempts at clearing it. This time it's Manchester City who are put on the back foot by Chelsea. You certainly see the intent from this Emma Hayes' side.
I was going to say they might have the wind advantage this half, but I think it's difficult to tell which way it's blowing.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the flags on the corner flags and there was nothing. It was the same in the first half. We could feel it up here, but pitch sides may be different.
Mielda delivers, Kerr flicks it on. Cuthbert retrieves. That was a risky ball, cut out by Angledal.
Well, Emma Hayes will have demanded a response at half-time, and the opening signs from this Chelsea team are really, really good. Look like they're determined to chip away at that 2-goal lead from City.
The last team to keep a clean sheet against Chelsea was Arsenal, February of last year. It's very hard to keep them out.
Certainly more tempo when they're in possession at the back, much better. And look, looking long first, defensive to forward third. Didn't see that once, I don't think, in the first half.
Angledal scampering away from Erin Cuthbert, showing her a clean pair of heels. Shaw onto Kelly, away by Eriksson. Hemp sees a gap and goes for it. Falls back to Alexandri.
Watch Kerr cheating, Esme. Time out, wait.
See Hasegawa being tightly marked by Erin Cuthbert as well. I think there's one-to-one matchups.
Come on, Eva!
Man City had the better of them in the first half.
Steph Horton in the right place there. And they're trying to find Sam Kerr early on. Steph Horton's 7th WSL starts this season.
Yeah, battled back from injury. Under not a new manager, but under Nick Cushing for 7 years of his time here at the club. Won everything with him as captain, Steph Horton.
Showed incredible resilience emotionally, mentally.
Yeah, the injuries at key times for Steph Horton at international level, the disappointment of non-selection. Then she's had, you know, great times. That goal at Wembley against Brazil for Team GB, hugely memorable for me, and I'm sure for her. Being the captain of the Lionesses for such a long period of time under different managers.
Mielda. Miscued pass towards Buchanan, picked up by Shaw. Here's Hemp. Chelsea still trying to get back into position. Hemp trying to work the opening. Good defending from Mielda.
Yeah, excellent touch-tight defending from Mielda. Another player who's had long spells on the sidelines with injury. Tested to the max there by Lauren Hemp. Going back to Steph Horton, Serena Wiegman's been really consistent. If you're not playing, you ain't in the squad. So this is a chance for Steph Horton to show under another England manager that she's still up to task.
Short to Hasegawa. Drifts it into the back post.
It was worked really nicely, actually. It was drifted into Steph Horton at the back post. Just taken a little couple of yards deeper. Disappointed with herself for not making better contact.
Caught by Cuthbert.
Angledal's been really impressive in this game. Watched her only a couple of times live to get better Erin Cuthbert. Doing something special.
Brighton picks it up and immediately looks for Sam Kerr.
Excellent starting position for Ellie Roebuck. Almost puts off Sam Kerr. See how high up Ellie Roebuck was, and good retreat to let the ball roll back into her box.
There is the England manager. Plenty of talent for her to observe today. The international break coming up. 2 key fixtures against Brazil and Australia for England. And the warm-up to the World Cup this summer.
Up, no slip, intense.
Hasegawa nips in, Coombs, and now Khadija Shaw. Just opened up for her, but slipped and blocked by Eriksson. Alexandri.
So impressed with the midfield trio of Manchester City when you consider it's been Kira Walsh, Caroline Weir and George Stanway, 3 players who've been there for such a long period of time, been so influential, who all moved on, you know, in a very short space of time. That was a huge transition it was going to be for City to replace those players. So to see Hasegawa, Angledal and Laura Coombs take those positions and be so successful on today's showing, been really excellent and heartwarming and positive for Manchester City fans.
That was an incredible turnover of key players this summer. So not too surprising they had that slow start. Angledal. Greenwood, Hemp wants it. Instead it's short to Alexandri.
Yeah, he's certainly getting a tune out of them, Gareth Taylor. With all the upheaval, Lucy Bronze leaving, Jill Scott, Ellen White retiring. Probably missed a couple of other names, but you know, huge names, fixtures, mainstays of Manchester City's team. They were no longer here, and you know, the fans were calling for Gareth Taylor, maybe to step down, maybe for him to leave. He's repaying their loyalty with how this team are playing.
Still time for Chelsea to put the frighteners on City here, but at the moment City doing a good job of keeping them at arm's length. Suspicion of handball on Leupolz. Play goes on. Coombs.
Well done, Laura.
Controlled beautifully by Lauren Hemp. Paul Howard happy with that challenge.
Tried to squeeze through a gap that wasn't there.
Charles Plays it towards Wrighton, couldn't quite collect. It's all getting a bit ragged here. Cuthbert's down after a strong challenge from Coombs. She did win the ball. Kerr's down now. Chelsea will play on. Here's Cannerid. Well, with Cuthbert and Kerr on the deck, there wasn't too many options for Cannerid there.
Erin Cuthbert very rarely stays down. It was a hefty tackle by Laura Coombs, but she was fair and she had to make that tackle. Hasegawa had been dispossessed. Laura Coombs covering. Just scythed her down as she got the ball as well, Laura Coombs. Two players and Hayes would not want to be without Cuthbert and Sam Kerr.
Well, Chelsea, we talk about their depth, but if you look at their bench today, not a lot, especially in forward positions. Still missing Fran Kirby, still missing Pernilla Harder. Oof, well, Coombs won the ball, but she took out Cuthbert on the follow-through as well. Coombs sends it forward, Kelly putting Carter under pressure. Nicely done by Buchanan, and it's given away to Hasegawa.
Poor ball again though from Buchanan. Great little turn.
Lovely play, Hasegawa to Coombs, and now Kelly. Carter steps in, and this could be an opening for Chelsea. And Charles forced to go back. City funneling back into a good defensive shape. Buchanan with room to run into. Precision lacking.
Yeah, and that's been the same all around the pitch, where Manchester City have been sharp and really taken care of those passes, both in possession in their own defensive third to get out of trouble, but also to undo Chelsea in the final third. They've been sharp, they've been efficient, Manchester City. Chelsea have not. But Chelsea have got the armoury to get themselves back in this still. City cannot relent at all.
Leupolz. Cannerid attempting to make the run in behind, read by Greenwood. Closed down by Leupolz. Did she get the shout? Wrighton trying to play in. Cannerid. Chelsea trying to squeeze up high. Leupolz, Cannerid, time to measure the cross. Good defending. Alexandri can't quite prevent the corner though. Bit last ditch, but effective in the end.
It was ununited. You could see when one pressed, one covered, another one pressed. It was real togetherness in the defensive efforts. Not sure if that completely went out, but it did on the replay. Gura Wrighton from a set piece.
Towards the near post. Easy for Alexandri. showing too much of that for Kelly. Oh, it's fantastic play from Hasegawa. The vision and the execution to send Kelly away. Angeldal onto Hemp, closed down. Still there for City. Morgan. Hemp. Carter sticks out a leg. Angeldal. Good win from Cuthbert. That's going to go straight back to the goalkeeper.
See Guru-Wrighton and Sam Kerr setting the trap a little bit more. Starting higher. Force Ellie Robert to kick, and see that's what a goalkeeper does. Make decision to clear your lines rather than put the ball at risk. I agree with that decision.
Horton back to the goalkeeper, Roebuck. Coombs. Kelly. Runs into Cuthbert. Advantage played for Chelsea. Promising ball for Cannerid. Greenwood. She looked like she was second best for that. She got there.
All about timing as a centre-half, isn't it? Knowing your own game, which Alex Greenwood does exceptionally well. She's never had, you know, lightning pace and never relied on that. She relies on the scenarios that play through her head she's seen a million times. Great defending from her.
Oh, Angeldal loses it for Charles. Goes for goal. Weak effort in the end.
Right intention from Niamh Charles, but good bit of footwork from Ellie Roebuck. Angeldal has a pocket picked. Just probably didn't want Niamh Charles in that position to be striking the ball. It looks like Chelsea are about to make another change.
Chankovic is ready, waiting. Berger just about got there ahead of Shaw. Hasegawa pirouetting away. She's been sublime.
Yeah, Angle Sport, just see there, a little check to receive the ball, quality.
She's been imperious today. Just knows how to use her body.
We've played against Japan so, you know, plenty of times. It's great to have some of those Japanese players here now in the Women's Super League. They generally bring technicality, 360-degree vision. A beautiful simplicity to the game.
And here comes Chelsea's third change of the match. Maren Mjelde coming off, and Jelena Chankovic on. So again, I'll ask you, Rachel, how we think this changes Chelsea.
Well, Erin Cuthbert was trotting off. She thought she was coming off, and then was told she's not. It looks like Niamh Charles has come across to just straight swap for Mjelde, so they're staying four at the back. Chankovic will look to just support Sam Kerr. Right, he'll go back to that left side.
More used to playing down the middle, Jelena Cankovic. She had a fantastic game against Arsenal in the FA Cup. The following week she struggled, a lot of them did, in the Continental Cup final. She's been in and out the team, but chance here to try and make an impact.
And what Chelsea do well is they'll leave through at the back, and either Jess Carter or Niamh Charles will go and join in with the attack.
Sent forward by Horton. Shaw comes away with it. Hempson a bit of space on the edge. It's Kelly. Angeldal. Not far away.
Lovely little snapshot, wasn't it, from Angeldal? This time Khadija Shaw going on the outside and Angeldal cutting in more central. Chloe Kelly, rebound. Oh, and Angeldal saw the chance. Just snatched at it slightly. The whole midfield's been excellent, hasn't it, for Manchester City? Angeldal, Coombs and Hasegawa.
Back to Buchanan. Coombs. Good strong challenge from Buchanan to win it back.
Chelsea are going to have to make one of these forays into the final third count. And again, it's a sloppy pass that could be incisive or could be decisive. It just isn't for Chelsea. There have been too many of those today for Emma Hayes' team.
That wasn't a difficult one, and Niamh Charles certainly isn't the first. It's been a collective problem today.
It's just a bit of lack of communication. You put a bit of pace on the ball when the player's already on the, making the run, couldn't get onto it. If a player's flat-heeled and expecting it to feet, they ain't going to make that. So whether it's the communication or lack of actual execution, hasn't clicked.
Pressure from Shaw. The decision has gone her way.
Bunny Shaw has been excellent up front, making darting runs in the first half. It's almost distracted the centre halves and allowed the players wider of her to actually get the goals and get the glory.
So here's what's coming up on the BBC for you. You can remain seated for the boat race. Follows us, 3:30. Coverage on BBC One. All the highlights from the WSL games tonight on the Women's Football Show, 10 o'clock on iPlayer and 25 past midnight on BBC One. And if you're still up, live NBA, Mavericks at the 76ers, 12:25 AM on Wednesday, and Match of the Day Top 10, all available on the iPlayer.
Changing direction with Lauren Hemp, but well matched by Niamh Charles, playing in that right back position. Chloe Kelly now in no rush to take this corner. Any bit of time they can eke away. They've got their lead
all part of the game. Chloe Kelly goes deep. Good claim by Berger.
Oh, it's excellent footwork there, Berger.
Cannerid. Pulled back by Hemp. And it's going to be the first booking of the game.
Fully deserved booking from Lauren Hemp. Great intention to get back and help your team out, but locked arms with Chelsea player. Erin Cuthbert on the free kick. Lauren Hemp's been over, noticed the sideline, came out with an energy gel. I think has already come over in his second half for another energy gel, so.
Kerr with the cross. Oh, nearly crept in.
Well watched by Ellie Roebuck. All kinds of problems have happened down at this end, so it must be hard to judge with the wind on this side. Sam Kerr arguably offside if there was a check, but there's not. Takes a chance, and Ellie Roebuck has to be in position to turn that round forward of the post.
Brighton get another chance here. Shaw gets first contact, back in by Laura Poles, and bit nervy. Roebuck in a good position. Looks like City are getting ready to make their first change.
Julia Blackstad is getting stripped off.
Charles to Chankovic. Nice play under a lot of pressure. Here's Wrighton. Kerr making her way into the box. Lauren Hemp tidying up and then drawing the foul. Blackstad putting the jacket back on. Not a bad idea. Hasegawa. Tremendous footwork, couldn't quite pull it through for Chloe Kelly, but the referee's pulled it back for a foul and a free kick for City.
I think it caught the hand of a Chelsea player. Deemed handball. Hasegawa's been excellent. Weaved herself out of tricky situations. Always get a little angle of support for her teammates.
Chloe, take her off.
Horton, Hasegawa. Just as Chelsea thought they'd want it back, clash between the two players. Erin Cuthbert is still down. City play on with Kelly. Coombs, good block from Eriksson. And Erin Cuthbert remains down. Out of the game, Sam Kerr is going to have to go all alone.
She's holding her head, so the referee, if he sees that, he needs to stop the game.
Now are going to have to put this out of play, surely.
She looks in quite a bit of discomfort.
This is concerning. She's not really moved an awful lot. I think it was a clash with her own player.
Didn't seem to be much in that at all. Other than when she tries to get up, she almost staggers, and whether those hands are over her head in despair. Surely not someone else added to the long list of serious injuries, but you can see that now there's gas and air coming out. It does look like it could be serious for Erin Cuthbert.
The change for City is made. Lauren Hemp, who got the second, is coming off.
Lauren Hemp there motioning. You see she had Cottonwell in her ear, clearly got some sort of, she's not 100%. And Yulia Blackstad comes on. Full of running, full of energy, continuing to learn. Young player who's come in, can play wide, can play in a forward position.
Subdued atmosphere because of Erin Cuthbert and the worry for her. What a season she's had. Just hope it's not going to be cut short here. Don't want to speculate as to what might be wrong, but Chelsea are going to have to make a change here.
Just saw she stood up after that collision with her own player, kind of almost wobbled her right leg. See now, looks innocuous, and as she gets up, see how it doesn't look particularly stable as she's trying to move on it. And fingers crossed for the short term and long term for Erin Cuthbert.
Jessie Fleming coming on for Erin Cuthbert. In the short term, if it stays like this is a damaging defeat, but in the long term, potentially this could be even worse for Chelsea.
It's another midfielder, isn't it? A little harder from Kirby.
Canada delivers. Horton gets there ahead of Kerr. Still over 10 minutes to go.
Chelsea look a little devoid of ideas, don't they? They've pumped the ball forward to Guru Wrighton and to gone more direct, as we suggested that they needed to try, but they just haven't had the cutting edge today, that dynamism that's required to break down. Manchester City have been excellent at the back, been organised, they've been sharp when it comes to moving down the line, attacking, putting the brakes on. Textbook defending from Manchester City for most of this game.
Alexandri. Chelsea's ball. Alexandri didn't want to give that up quietly. Closed down by Blackstad. You're absolutely right, Rachel. It just seems that Chelsea devoid of ideas, and it's just so strange to see, because usually they find a way to goal numerous different ways, and they make it look so simple. This is a credit to Manchester City.
Well, they've only made the one substitution, and that's Lauren Hemp, because she was clearly run out of batteries, whereas Chelsea have tried to impact the game by making changes, and they just haven't synced up the players that have come on, the formations that have changed.
Kandarin delivers. Here's Chankovic. Neat footwork. Very congested. That's deflected over the bar for a corner kick.
Excellent positioning from Alex Greenwood again there. Gets right in the line of the ball in the centre of the goal. And a speculative toey from Jessie Fleming on the edge of the box. Flicks it over.
Easily defended at the near post by Coombs. Buchanan took a chance. The decision has gone her way. It was a close one. Oh, and the frustration's boiling over a little. And Chloe Kelly in the book for preventing the quick free kick.
She's a tenacious player, isn't she, Chloe Kelly? And there's too much wrong, really, with that. Buchanan, maybe more than anything. You know, pretty much even Stevens, that. No issue with that.
Well, that's a good challenge from Fleming. Kerr with the cross. Again, just that quality on the final ball hasn't been there today for Chelsea at all.
No, it's going to have to just write this one off if you're going to push on for the title, and certainly your ambitions of winning the Champions League. Emma Hayes' team have got to write this one off as, you know, a blip, a bad day at the office. Nothing's clicked for Chelsea. For everything good that Manchester City have done, Chelsea have not been able to counter that.
Lyon at Stamford Bridge on Thursday, and then another tricky away trip to Aston Villa this time next week before the international break. Really important week in Chelsea's season.
Villa at home. A very tough prospect, as Manchester City found out.
I think they're pleased they won't have to play them again this season. Seem to have City's number. Again, Kerr offside. Into the final 5 minutes then. Rachel Brown-Finishaw, Barclays Player of the Match.
Well, I've talked about the midfield for Manchester City being exceptional. Laura Coombs and Angeldal, but Hasegawa has held up that trio of players. She's been instrumental getting Manchester City out of their defensive third and into the final third. She has been the player who's made City tick today. So Hasegawa, Player of the Match.
Kelly gets the yard, and Shaw just over the bar. The only thing missing from this City performance.
good movement. The girls talked about Bunny Shaw's movement, how that's improved, and she gets away from Eriksson, just checks in behind her, finds herself space, makes herself a target, just can't quite execute.
Remaining. Eriksson steps in.
Well, as much as a lift that Chelsea will have had from that midweek win at Lyon, you know, perennial Champions League winners, to go there and get scalped 1-0 away, they're going to have to do some soul searching and some shuffling. Hope that Erin Cuthbert will make it. Millie Bright hopefully will make it. Sounds positive on Millie Bright. They've got to get themselves massively up for that game at Stamford Bridge.
I don't think that's going to take much to get up for. They responded really well after losing the League Cup final to Arsenal, winning the next 4 in all competitions. Going to have to respond again. It looks like 2 minutes plus stoppage time to go. City happy to defend.
Yeah, Chelsea look all out of ideas, just sending it forwards, and City having to mop that up.
Sam Kerr retrieving. Jankovic. Nice give and go. And the forward players of City getting back, putting the challenges in. Canarid. Hasegawa works it to Angledahl. Leupolz wins it back, it's Wrighton. Steph Horton down. The referee is going to have to stop this.
Yeah, hit her in the head, didn't it? Wrighton's bullet shot. So correct protocol. Angledahl just lets it run across the body and has the ball nicked off of it by Leupolz, and then Wrighton catches Steph Horton on the back of the head.
Four minutes of time added on. It will keep going, but seems the game is up for Chelsea. It'll be a second WSL defeat of the season after the opening day one against Liverpool.
Shows you how much, I'm not saying Manchester City do have technical quality, they have, the way that they've played has been really defined, and I've liked that, because in previous seasons under Gareth Taylor, I've not seen exactly what he was wanting to play, how he was wanting to play, how were they building up and creating goals, and you can see the DNA of what Manchester City are wanting to play like, and it's been the opposite from Chelsea today. It's been ragged, disjointed, all of the words that we very rarely use to describe Chelsea. Looks like Steph Horton is going to be fine to continue.
Great for Steph Horton to come back in and potentially record a clean sheet, a rare one against Chelsea. Some doubting whether she could continue to play at the highest level. She's been a big part of the City collective performance today. Buchanan sends it forward. Charles. Maybe one last chance. Brighton, Leupolz! Not the easiest chance on the volley, but a chance nonetheless.
It is not your day, Chelsea, if you're not putting that in the back of the net. Good build-up play from Wright, and has the time and finally has the accuracy and the precision to pick out Leupolz. And you expect her to put that in the back of the net. You can see how she's held a position on the penalty spot. All the defenders have dropped in, leaves her with acres of space. And she'll be so disappointed she couldn't capitalise on that.
Memory serves, Chelsea's best chance of the game.
Yeah, unopposed, centre of the goal. No defender about at all. Absolutely expect that to go in the back of the net.
Again, another poor delivery.
It's just a below par, below average performance, and if you're doing that against a team who's vying for a top 3 position, who's on a run, a string of wins as Manchester City are, this is what happens. You cannot afford to have subpar performances at this level.
Kelly trying to wriggle away. Buchanan does well to get back. Defending from the Canadian international. She's given it straight back to City. Hasegawa. You've played the 4 minutes. Excellent defending. Missed by 1, they were clearing up, and now City can counter. Angeldal. Couple in the middle. Kerr. And that is Chelsea's afternoon summed up. Usually so effective in the air. One more chance perhaps. Leupolz. Esme Morgan got there ahead of Kerr. Another cross here from Gura Wrighton. An easy claim for Roebuck, and that might just be that. Full time. A result that blows the race for the WSL title wide open. A statement win for Manchester City. A huge blow to the defending champions. First half goals, Philippa Angeldal and Lauren Hemp. And an organised, obdurate display to keep Chelsea out. City rise to 2nd in the WSL table. Could this be a huge step on the way to a first league title since 2016? A bad day at the office for Chelsea. What a win for Manchester City.
Absolutely, and this woman, Hasegawa, was absolutely key in that. The midfield were excellent, and we've seen when teams dominate the midfield against Chelsea, then that team tends to win, like the Cup final, Arsenal against Chelsea. It was the same situation, and all around the pitch, I feel Manchester City won their one-to-one battles. Defensively, Manchester City were absolutely solid. Ellie Roebuck, when called upon, made 2 or 3 key but not flashy saves, and that was really all that Chelsea could do to Manchester City. It was all about how City started, how they managed the game, and how eventually they saw the game out. They were exceptional today, Chelsea were not, and that's how they rode out winners.
A must-win game for Manchester City, and they've done just that. Full time at the Academy Stadium, Manchester City 2, Chelsea 0.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Rachel. You can see as the celebrations continue here at the Academy Stadium just how massive those 3 points are for Manchester City. Makes the WSL title race, Farrah Williams, very interesting.
Really interesting. I think it leaves it wide open. You've seen now Manchester City have moved themselves from 4th into 2nd, joint top leaders with Manchester United. So they're excited. They know they come into this game, and if they lost this game, they'd probably struggle to reach that top 3. So it's massive 3 points, and they're on the roll, this Manchester City team. I mentioned before, after the opening 2 games, they've actually gone unbeaten. So they know in-house, nobody's talking about them. They're just doing the work on the ground here.
Well, surely, Anita, everyone's going to be talking about them after today, because look what that has done to the table.
Well, a lot of movement in the table, and now it's all to play for. I think, Man City are going to play Arsenal in the next fixture away, so they'll be full of confidence now, having gone against Chelsea today. But it was a solid performance from start to finish. They really won the game in the first half.
Is that what you could see from Manchester City today? Just a team that looks so comfortable and confident on the ball?
Yeah, they have a possession-based playing style, and they stick to that, and everyone seemed to know their roles and responsibilities, and every duel they were first to, in the game, and that matters when the margins are so fine. But the clinical as well. The finishing today was exceptional, and Chelsea really just didn't get a foothold in the game.
Tactically, Farrah, what do you think it was that Manchester City did today?
I think, and it's something that I'd like to ask Gareth, I think they actually took advantage of the fact that Chelsea played away in Lyon, which would have been a difficult game, and what Chelsea did was come out with Manchester City did was come out with intensity against a Chelsea team that potentially could have been a little bit tired, and in doing that, I think they really unsettled this Chelsea team. Having said that, Millie Bright is a big loss for this Chelsea team in that back line, and I think that showed today massively.
When you think about Chelsea, overall their performance, was it that they were tired, they lacked the tempo, Nita? What can you put it down to?
It's a difficult one, because sometimes you have a run of games and you think that gives you more energy and a bit of momentum. But I think they were just disjointed today. They didn't start well, they didn't start with intensity, they didn't gain any control in the game possession-wise, and out of possession, I didn't think they were aggressive enough in the moments when it really mattered.
Yeah, Farrah, did that start in the defence? Because we spoke about Chelsea missing Millie Bright, and maybe that leadership and the communication, and maybe is that where Buchanan really struggled today?
I think so. I think, we spoke about the Manchester City intensity in their press. I think Buchanan, and look, Buchanan's a player with really, really good qualities. I think today she had a really bad off day. So for her, she had an untidy game, which I think really put Chelsea on the back foot. The areas that she was giving the ball away or losing possession was in really bad areas. You just see here, that wasn't so much her fault, but maybe her start position could have been better. You'll see here, she just doesn't get up to Bunny Shaw early enough. And then it's here, once she beats her, it's then the recovery after the press. She just gets lost, and now it's a slow recovery back in position. You can just see her here and there. You can
I think
touch in, but she just gives the ball away.
We normally pride her for her in possession as well as her defensive ability to read danger, but she doesn't recover into the line very well. And I think, she's a player who plays quite casually in general, but today wasn't a game where you could play at that level. You had to play with more intensity and everything.
Anita, I can't remember the last time I actually saw a Chelsea team actually look like this, that looked so lost and didn't have any answers today.
Yeah, I mean, we've rarely seen Chelsea in this kind of position before, and they didn't manage to find a way back into the game. But I think what they really struggled with was link-up play. They never really got close enough to Sam Kerr, get Erin Cuthbert in higher positions and get some momentum and control, and it really showed today.
I think we have to give credit, though, to Manchester City. I think their game plan, I think the high press, as I said, they would have recognised in that lineup, Millie Bright isn't there. So they've lost a real leader there at the back, and it starts for Chelsea at the back. What they couldn't do. They kept doing the same thing. Chelsea are normally very good at problem solving in the game. They couldn't do that today.
OK, well, actually, let's get over to Jo Curry now because she's with the Chelsea manager, Emma Hayes.
We're not used to seeing Chelsea struggle to score goals. What was missing today?
We lost. I think it's a team that I was proud of the second half performance. I said to them that it's important now we get all our thoughts into Thursday. It's tough. It's a tough loss, but well done, Manchester City.
I know you said the players enjoy these busy periods, but is it fair to say they look tired at times today?
Yeah, absolutely is. But I'm not going to sit here and say a negative word about my players. I love them. I know how hard they pushed in the second half. I think this was just one game too many for us this week.
We saw Erin Cuthbert limping off. That could potentially just add to your injuries in the attacking positions.
I mean, it's so hard to win a league when you're in all competitions. We've had a game every 3 days. I think today's performance reflected that.
Thanks for speaking to us, Emma. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jo.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear from Emma Hayes there saying about the amount of games. But at the start of the show, Farah, she said that actually as a player and a manager, they're the games that you want to keep coming.
Yeah, she did, and I think as a player, I much preferred playing those competitive games continuously. I told you those long 6 days between game to game can become boring, a little bit difficult, and a little bit demotivating. We like games, and these players are all international footballers, played in competitions. Chelsea have been a part of every competition for the last, I don't even know, 5-6 years at least, minimum. So they're used to midweek games, game of a weekend, midweek. So they're used to that. Is it a slight excuse? Maybe, because they were really poor today. Did they look tired? I would say so. But I also think they played into that. I think their sloppy play put them on the back foot quite a lot. And so they ended up chasing, and it made the game a lot harder for themselves today.
Yeah, and I'm much like Farah. I used to enjoy having back-to-back games and not those long training weeks. And I don't think Chelsea really managed the game situation today very well. They didn't manage to keep control of the ball, and they allowed Man City, credit to them, to squeeze on them with that aggressive pressure, and they really benefited from that.
Just another quick one on Chelsea, Farah. Seeing Erin Cuthbert limp off the pitch.
That'll be, I mean, if she's injured, that's a big loss for them, because she's somebody, in a game like today, you could see she was really trying to make things happen for Chelsea. They had to move her from a higher position because they couldn't get the link right from deeper position. You saw the substitution at the half an hour mark and brought her back. So she is key to this Chelsea team. Fingers crossed there's no, it's not a big injury.
Okay, but Manchester City now, all the confidence that they can actually go on and put their hands on that trophy again, Anita.
Well, they said it themselves. They've been flying it silently under the radar, but I think now they've really announced themselves with this performance, and everyone should be looking over their shoulders because they're coming.
Well, they sure are looking over their shoulders. Just a reminder, you can catch all of the highlights from the weekend's WSL on the Women's Football Show on BBC iPlayer at 10 o'clock and a later time on BBC One. But we will catch you next week as Arsenal host Manchester City. We'll see you then.
Another weekend and another crucial game in the race for the Women's Super League title. A rocket from Philippa Angeldal! It's her first ever WSL goal! It's Hemp, and it's 2!
Chelsea just haven't had the cutting edge today.